Hello everybody, today I have the pleasure to propose to you this key 12 entitled Energy, the master key to reach the door of invisible world. Well, energy is really fascinating and very important topic. That's why Nikola Tesla said, if you want to know the secret of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So, energy is prevalent everywhere. That's why Einstein, the great scientist, he said the following: there is no matter. Actually, there is no matter, there is only energy for which the vibration has been greatly reduced to be perceptible to our senses. There is no matter. So, what does it mean? It means that the matter is basically just density, is just some energy which has been greatly, let's say, reduced to be perceivable to our senses. Concretely, it is purely in energy, and the difference with something that we cannot see is just the notion of vibration. Higher vibration you cannot see, you cannot touch. Low vibration and low energy, it's more the illusion of tangibility. You can touch it, okay? But this is just some forces. It's like in physics, vector, okay? So it's a kind of reaction force. As long as you have a force, you have an opposition. So basically, if I analyze my hand, is full of energy, is full of atoms, and actually it is just some vibration, purely, simply. And this is important to think about that like this. Actually, that's why it's really important to consider the prevalence of energy, because it's absolutely everywhere. It's literally, it is in the stone, it is in my cat, it is in myself, it is in everything, in this plant, everything, but also in our thoughts, in our head. By the way, if you do the experience by putting some electrodes, you will find some energy, and we can retranscribe that with, curves, just to show, okay, the vibration of your energy. Okay, not only your the heat of your body, is really literally your energy of your mind. That's why Buddha say one thing extremely simple, and in addition of that, extremely powerful. He said the following: you become what you think. You attract what you feel. Hence, you create what you imagine. Okay, so it's very important. You become what you think. You attract what you feel, so attraction. And last, you create or co-create what you imagine. Imagination is the visualization, impacting the matter. And the second one was you feel, you attract. This is law of attraction. And the first one is you become what you think. So basically, you are convinced that you are dummy, you will be a dummy. You are convinced that you are a great scientist, and so on. You need some studies for that. But concretely, we vibrate according to what we think. Okay, so it's extremely important, and we can imagine that healthy body in a healthy mind is so important because the quality of our life is impacting. Even worse than this. This is what we call epigenetics. Okay, Bruce Lipton is talking quite a lot about this. It's very interesting. This is because when I was young in the biology, I learned that literally DNA was fixed. Okay, you were born like this. It was family heritage, let's say, that you inherit from your family, your parents, and so on, and it was fixed. Okay, but it's not true. Actually, it's the fruit and the restitution of your thoughts. So if you think positively, you will activate and you will change your DNA, and your DNA will affect your whole body. So that's why the hygiene of the thought is extremely important, because it's linked to a good circulation of the energy. That's why it's really important, all personal development, the whole kind of harmony in your life, spirituality or not, a label, a tag, or whatever, we don't care. It's just the fact to feel good. I feel good. The fact that it allows you to be healthy, and we can feel those who are in harmony, they are literally radiating. They feel, we feel this, and we are naturally attracted to that. A simple example of energy. You know, some boys sometimes they can say, "Oh, Murphy law." You know, Murphy law. It's just to piss you off, right? So is when you have something and it's always the reverse side. Well, anyway, just a guy will say, "Oh, it's unfair. I just met someone, a girl, and it's nice and so on, and I'm in love. That's perfect, but." During 2 years, no girls were observing me and so on, and now I'm in love, and all the girls are on me. Okay, why? It's because before it was not radiating. It was just maybe shy, maybe it was not really comfortable, and so on. Now is in love, so is shining, and some or not. We don't care. It's not that he has a charisma, he has an energy, and people feel it. It's stimuli, literally. Stimuli, and beyond of that, it is energy. So the energy is absolutely, let's say, it's paramount. And that's why the father of modern medicine, which is Greek, Hippocrates, he said the following: the force of nature within us are the true healers of disease. And this is the old basis of Chinese traditional medicine. Okay, this is the good harmony of the yin and the yang in your energy, the different point of acupuncture, you know, some what we call the meridians. And personally, I live more than 10 years in China, and I study Chinese medicine because actually it is more preventive. Same for Ayurveda. Ayurveda, I went something like 30 times in India for 15 years and some certain period of time in ashram and so on, and I study Ayurveda. Ayurveda means literally, there is different translation, but literally means, normally it means the science of life, but it's more than this. It's the art of living. So when you're happy in your life and so on, when you enjoy food, when you enjoy everything, the pleasure of this amazing life, actually you are in this process of healthy. So actually this is important because the circulation is good. You know, you can see it. If you have some water and it is stagnating, okay, there is no circulation of this energy, it will smell. There will be some bacteria and so on. So it shows that if all the diseases are just dis-ease, it means that literally you're not at ease and your body is not making circulating. That's why it's important, and we will see how to do. But concretely, that's why it's so important to have a good circulation of the energy. But everything, your mind is energy, the food is energy, the sport is energy, is making circulating and so on. So this is extremely important, and also because the somatic dimension impacts your mind. I mean, your mind impacts your body. Once again, let's take the basic example of placebo, nocebo. Placebo, literally in Latin, it means I heal, I'm healing, okay? And nocebo means that this is the contrary, basically. So placebo, I give you a pill, and I say to you, is a miraculous drug. Okay, and inside you will be healed and cured and so on, and you are convinced about it. You eat it, and then, oh, I feel better. But it's true for even headache and so on. Miraculously, because you condition yourself, you program your consciousness and your unconsciousness, and then there is true results through your body. It's like a transcendence. So this is true for positives. This is true also for negative. You are convinced that what you eat is poison, as I gave the example of. Some people say that drinking 1 glass of red wine is positive, so it will be positive for them. And you think, due to different religion and so on, this is bad for health, and you eat like this, even if you like the taste, but if you think it is bad, it will be bad for your body. So actually, there is no truth. Once again, the absolute truth is the sum of the relative truth and the subjective reality. Once again, this is the notion of Rubik's Cube. You have your face, I have my face, and so on. So actually, the absolute truth is divine, is not terrestrial. This is really important to keep this in mind. Actually, another point which is very important is to observe the notion of energy, because as I already mentioned, energy is everywhere, but it's at let's say worldwide scale. It is local spread, scope, and so on in your network with your relatives and so on, the energy, and even the emotions. Emotions are literally energy. Motion, motion, turning, movement, and so on. E equal mc2, energy equal mass multiplied by celerity, means the speed of light squared. Okay, this is the theory, the formula, the equation of Einstein relative to relativity. Okay, so emotion is some energy. When you feel down, if you laugh, you are higher in terms of vibration, you are light, enlightened. Okay, so it's let's say a high vibration. And if you are down, matter, you have some problems, some matter, you are literally down to earth, and you are in the low vibration. So actually everything is based on that. But what is interesting is to see the impact of energy at all levels. When you see the conflicts, international conflict, most of them are a quest of energy, resources, oil, gas, and so on. Hegemony, for example, the influence of your culture, your thoughts, proselytism, all this kind of thing is energy. It can be, I don't know, megalomania of a president who wants to conquest. Napoleon is a great example for that. French people pretend he's a great giant. No, he was, sorry to say that, he was a dictator, and just because he was 2 centuries ago, now he has a certain noble dimension. But what he did, for example, in Middle East, in Syria, during the Egypt campaign, it was just a kind of, not genocide, but he destroyed a lot of people, horrible way. So anyway, so he would be compared to a dictator nowadays. So just to say sometimes a word to the wise, okay? So literally, this is interesting to analyze that at the worldwide scale, and in parallel of that, amongst your network relatives. You can see this to your work, a meeting, and you see the energy. You want to have the power, the hierarchy, and so on. He wants to show off because he has a problem of ego. So this is just an energy. He wants to have an influence, a battle of ego, because he wants to have the power, the control on people, on the mind of people, and so on. This is typically what's happening in the big groups. I work for big companies, 2 of them, for 7 years, and I saw the hierarchy, the fact when you arrive with your fresh ideas, when you just graduated 24 years old, and you have your idea and you are happy, like exciting, we're gonna play to reality and so on, and then you just realize that you have a boss, you have a sub-boss and so on, vice and so on, and there is a hierarchy. You need to be politics, to do some diplomacy. You have an idea, but you have to respect the. Wow, this is quite a headache, and honestly, it's really interesting. But it's true for anything, because we are alternating amongst us and amongst the different experience we have in between the saviors, the victim, and the executioner. Okay, so, or sometimes we are more outgoing, sometimes we are shy, and so on, according to the people and so on. But all this is a question of energy. If I'm very shy, I let the person, interlocutor, having more power on me, more energy on me. Okay, so it's the same. The relationship are based of energy, basically. Emotion, supremacy, all this kind of thing is energy. So another point I wanted really to insist is the notion of energy, the subtle energy that we call the 5th elements. The 5th elements, called as well quintessence. There is different ways and different names for the same principle. Like this is in English. I have the equivalent in French. I could do in different languages. It doesn't affect the content. It's just the form changing. So these 5th elements, the Greek called it ether. Ether E-T-H-E-R, ether, fifth element. So 4 elements. You have earth, water, air, and fire. And the fifth one is ether. Ether is concretely, it is invisible, let's say, energy. Entangling, interconnecting everything is linked to entanglement. Okay, original quantic entanglement means that at the beginning of the Big Bang you have the single point of singularity, and then expansion. But the fact to have been connected, okay, is like a first connection. Literally, every atoms of the universe can vibrate at the same time. It means that that's why when we talk about unity, we should more talk about that, like scientist perception. Okay, so entanglement, quantic entanglement. Okay, so this is really important. And so fifth element, ether, ki for Japanese. That's why the discipline is Rai-ki, ki all, or master ki. It's not like this, it's K-I. So the ki, the equivalent of the chi. Qi, normally in Chinese, its retranscription is QI. Okay, Qi means literally in Mandarin, it means energy. So the disciplines, Reiki, Qigong is the same, and Prana. Prana for Hindu, Buddhist, and so on. So what is that? Okay, concretely, it's a subtle energy activating everything. We can consider is the source of life, is the source, the energy, the divine energy, or the living energy. Okay, so this is something that is good to activate, and this is the fruit of a good health. That's why there is different ways, but the retranscription, the visualization is the serpent. The serpent, the snake, that's why it's prevalent in all the cultures, Inca, Maya, Aztec, and so on. Also in Pacific, in Southeast Asia, and so on. We find it in India. Okay, in India, this is Kundalini snake, the serpent of Kundalini. Concretely, what is it? Because there is a double polarity. Same for Taoism. Yin Yang is the same. So for Hindu is Ida Pingala, positive, negative, feminine, masculine, and a good balance. Once you have good balance and you activate, you have a third part, okay, like a spiral. Okay, a spine, which is a torus, which is actually what we call Shushuma. And Shushuma is the materialization, quote mark, because it's not material, but we saw that there is no matter. So the energy is Kundalini. So it's open up, it's like a nuclear bomb inside yourself, within yourself, inward. But actually, this is transcendental energy, allowing to, this is the quest of Tantrism. Tantrism is not only through sex, of course. It is through life in general. Same is, let's say, limited perception. Like Ayurveda, I told you, Ayurveda is more a notion of, this is a preventive medicine, but actually it's the art of living. We translate like science of art, but it is literally, this is the art of living in general. But it is preventive. If preventive means, this is the contrary of curative. It means preventive, you anticipate. You don't want to be ill. You don't want to be to get disease, to be sick. So you are in good health because you have a good nutrition, you have a good circulation of energy, you have a good mindset, and so on. And thereby you are healthy and you prevent. Okay, curative. They have also a curative part. Curative means that you heal. You have a way to heal, but the goal, same for the Chinese traditional medicine, is the same that Ayurveda. It's inspired, by the way. Chinese has been inspired by India. This is the same principle. Yin Yang, Ida Pingala is the equivalence. And instead of the serpent is a dragon, the dragon of Qi. That's why, you see sometimes in the Qigong, we do this kind of thing. It's too activating. And it's really delicate, subtle, because it's in between force and non-force movement and the fact to be still. Okay, so it's in between both, and it's really delicate. It's like a soap bubble. So the goal is really to activate it, and it's like a serpent. Okay, so it's delicate one. The serpent that we can find also in the caduceus, in the symbol of medicine, the modern medicine, and it comes from Hippocrates. And actually, this is a symbol of that, and that's why normally there is two ones. We are Ida Pingala, Yin Yang, activating Shushuma, the subtle energy of the fifth element. So this is really important to visualize it and to be aware about that. And if we go further with this notion of energy, because as the great scientist Lavoisier said, nothing is creating, nothing is lost, everything is transformed. And to go on that direction, Einstein say regarding death, that we can hear like hereafter or even life after life, he said the following: I believe in life after death, quite simply because the energy cannot die, it circulates, changes, and never stops. So for those who have a certain fear about that, is like water. Water you can have with different forms, liquid, gaseous, or solid, snow, or let's say ice, sorry. And actually it's always the same formula, okay, chemical formula, H2O, all right? And also, actually, it's depending on the recipient. Okay, if you see, I have a bottle of water, I put in my glass, okay, the water didn't change, only the content. If the glass is yellow, apparently it will be yellow, but it's not. Then if I fall down on the table and then I take the sponge and so on, I put in the pipe and so on, they will go to the sea, and then the sea condensation, and then clouds, and then snow, and then on the mountain, and then probably the cycle of the stream and so on, coming back to my bottle. Never change. Okay, so literally this is the same principle. The soul is eternal, and actually it is in this process, and it is not me who say that, it is Einstein. So it's important to be confident regarding that, because you feel released about one taboo. Okay, you don't want to lose your friends, your life, like it is normal, but you will find in another way, and most of the time we find it back, because actually it's question of energy, and usually there is like soul constellation, and most of the time we find back on different, let's say, actors or different costumes, the person, the souls we met previously. Well, as a practice, I invite you to see the scope in your daily life about energy. At a worldwide scale, president, wars, and so on, and also in your daily life with your relatives, your friends, dominant, executor, victim, and so on, all this power relationship and so on. And secondly, more practically, I invite you to visualize like mindfulness, but it's more visualization, because visualization allows to have an impact, as we saw with the Buddha's quotes, but concretely it is to visualize that when you inhale and exhale, you inhale some lights, white lights. Okay, so you can consider is like fifth element is prana, or it is ether, and it is penetrating your nose and also your brain, and you enlighten thanks to that, and then your whole body, your whole cells, and so on. And you do a few minutes like this, and the more you will do that, the more you will activate the principle of the fifth element, the principle of awakening, the principle of enlightenment, the principle of sending a message to the universe, I want to find you back, your unity, and so on, all the process entangle once again, because everything is always interconnected. All the discipline, all the keys that we see, necessarily they are linked each other. Well, I invite you to meditate actively, passively, and intuitively regarding these different elements, fifth element especially, and then also to watch the video several times, take notes, rephrase, and so on. I invite you also to try to feedback to someone for the transmission, to visualize if you master or not, if you need to deepen, and so on. And then to share this video, because according to the perception of someone else, if you combine, maybe you will enlarge the perspective of perception and of consciousness. Well, this is only one key because there is several keys, and the key goal is for you to shape your master key to open up the doors that you want, because it's up to you, up to universe. And actually, because as I told you, all the roads lead to Rome and to Rome. Thank you for your attention, and see you soon.